Ready, Maddie? Well done. Back into the round of 16 here. Just talk us through what you're most pleased about today.
I think overall I played a pretty clean match. Was really happy with kind of being able to get off to a good start, and then I think my serve got me out of a few tricky moments today, but overall just pretty happy with how clean it was.
David?
Congratulations on the win. I'm just curious how the earlier start affected your routine, pre-match, if any, and just the relief at being able to finish before it got substantially hotter out there.
Obviously it's a little bit earlier, but not that big of a deal. I like to go to sleep at like 9 o'clock every night anyways, so just kind of shift everything slightly earlier, but obviously super happy to be able to just kind of get out there before the heat got extreme and just kind of have a straightforward match and get in and get out early.
Did you feel getting hotter as the match wore on?
A little bit. I didn't really notice it that much, to be honest. Coming off the court, I was actually kind of surprised by how hot it was actually reading. It didn't feel that bad to me out there, but it obviously helps finishing as early as we did.
Okay, Matt?
Hey, Maddie, well done. Does it now feel like you're not necessarily like defending a title and this big thing, and that it just sort of feels like a more normal tournament now that you're sort of into it a few matches, or is that thing still sort of out there?
I think it's still out there, but I definitely feel like I've gotten more comfortable just within the tournament. I feel like that's typically the reality of most Grand Slams. The first round or two, you always just kind of feel those extra nerves, and then you kind of find your footing a little bit better and feel like you can find just a better level as the tournament goes on.
Charlie?
I just wondered, obviously you avoided like the really searing heat today, but when you are going to be playing in those conditions, just wondered what steps you take preparation-wise, whether that's what you eat or drink or things you might do with your strings, any little tweaks you might make.
Typically, obviously focus on making sure that you're hydrated, trying to up the electrolytes a little bit more, and then you have to be, as far as making sure that you're getting your carbs and all of that, whether I typically drink them, have a carb drink, just make sure that you're getting all of that in, just to make sure that the heat isn't taking even more out of you. And then I typically go up in my tension a little bit. Not today, I only went up a pound because obviously I was playing earlier, but depending on what the weather changes would be like, I think there's been times where I've gone even up 3-4 pounds.
So it's not flying off?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, this lady here and then Ben. Yes.
I guess follows up from what Matt was saying before, the defending champion title. Is it something you lean into and embrace? And how does that, I guess, affect you when you're coming up against someone as powerful and that you know so well in Jess in the next round?
I think at this point it's, I guess, kind of become old news a little bit. So definitely feeling a lot more comfortable, and at this point just really trying to, kind of keep my head down and just take care of my matches and worry about what's directly in front of me. And playing Jess is going to be really tough. She's obviously a very, very good tennis player and is just consistently going deep in every single tournament that she plays. So she's always someone that makes life very tricky, being on the opposite side of her, but I'm looking forward to it.
Ben?
This is going to be the first match in Grand Slam history between two podcast co-hosts, and so I'm wondering,
It's a very niche headline.
you can't buy that kind of advertising. I mean, getting hours for yourselves to be out there on Rod Laver Arena, whatever arena it is. How are you guys going to commemorate this? I heard Jess was saying, I don't know if you crossed paths because she was leaving as you were coming in, but you guys are going to do a pre-match show. Like, what is the sort of build-up going to be to seize this moment of the player box in the spotlight?
We are filming tomorrow, and she said she wants to have, like, whoever loses, like, the other person can come up with something. She wants to make me eat her disgusting apple pie with cheese on top of it if I lose, which I said I refuse. She's going to have to think of something else. So we're both going to try to think of something to kind of commemorate this moment. And I mean, hopefully we have more times where we meet later in tournaments where we get to play each other, and we can see how this one goes, and then hopefully be able to capitalize on it, and then see how we want to do it in the future as well.
Trash talk in tomorrow's episode, you think?
I don't know if either of us really trash talks very well. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm sure we're gonna for sure find some way to at least talk about it and hopefully make it entertaining.
Okay, we'll do Hermione, Yasmin, and then finish with Matt. Hermione?
I mean, first of all, could you elaborate on apple pie with cheese?
Yeah, it's gross. So we were doing this Thanksgiving podcast, and we were talking about what's your like favorite foods, your favorite desserts, whatever. And Jess was like, "Yeah, it's so good. You take apple pie, you put a piece of cheddar cheese on top of it, and then yellow cheddar, and then exactly, and then you microwave it, and then eat it."
You bake the pie first, and then
You bake the pie first, and then you put the cheese on top of it. And but it's yellow cheddar cheese. And she tried to make it sound like it was the most normal thing ever, and we were all just disgusted. And then she tried to double down and be like, "No, it's amazing." So our producer tried it and was like, "This is the grossest thing." And all I could envision was like, I definitely made it worse in my head, because I was envisioning like a Kraft singles, like gross square piece of cheese, and she was like, no, you use like a good piece of cheddar. So it doesn't make it better.
My real question was I asked Jess this as well, like being from Florida, obviously you're used to dealing with the heat, and what are the toughest conditions you played in where it was just, has there ever been an experience where it was too much?
There's been a few incidences where it's just felt so hot. I think most of mine that I can think of probably have happened in the summer in the States. Like the US Open, sometimes it's just, especially on Ash, it's just so humid and also hot. Even Cincinnati last year was brutal. It was so hot for so many days. I think training in Florida definitely kind of prepares you for a lot of the hot weather, and I feel like here, obviously, it gets to the point where you have to have suspended play, but I find that it's sometimes almost easier to play because it's a drier heat, so at least you're not also sweating. I find the conditions where when we have to play where the heat is very high, but also it's super humid, I feel like that's typically when you see more of us struggling, just because also the fluid loss is just so much more.
Okay, Yasmin, and then Matt. Yasmin?
Maddie, just on playing chess, I feel like when tennis players play their friends, they just say it's something they're used to and it's probably not going to be that deep. But for a non-athlete that maybe can't fathom being in that situation, how do you actually switch off the friendship side and lock in on the court?
Well, I mean, I want to win, so I kind of just remember that. I think that it's, I guess as tennis players, it's, like you said, it's not that deep. We've been doing it for so long, and we could literally be friends and laughing to the moment that we walk on the court, and then in that moment, it's, we both want to win, and we both are competitors, and we're going to do whatever we can to get the W, and then the moment it's over, it's, you're back to being friends, and I think those are one of those things that I actually really love tennis, because it's taught a lot of us how to just kind of manage our friendships and relationships and be able to genuinely love each other and be close and all of that, but also still be really competitive.
Okay, last one, Matt.
You mentioned you're filming tomorrow. Do you normally like socialize during a big tournament like this? Like go out to dinner with Jess or your other close friends on the tour? And then also just about the making each other laugh. Have you ever tried to make a friend laugh in the middle of a match?
Yeah, I socialize during tournaments. Otherwise, I'd be pretty depressed, probably. Yeah, we always are kind of trying to do things, whether it's go to dinner, we do escape rooms a lot, just kind of hang out. And we're all very committed to getting an episode of our podcast out every week. So we have to figure out times that work for everyone. So it just happens that tomorrow is the best day. And no, I've never tried to make a person laugh mid-match. I think that's probably the last thing that I'm trying to do on the court.